our fourth grade curriculum night. We're going to go ahead and get started. Just a reminder, tonight is being recorded. It's going to be shared with all parents, so just and it's being recorded. And today is a wonderful day. It is Miss Tanner's birthday. So before we begin, we want to sing happy birthday to Miss Tanner on the count of three. 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Tanner. Happy birthday to you.
She is fabulous. We love her. So as we begin, we are your fourth grade team this year. We have the fabulous Miss Kay Fox. She is a new addition to our team. She is an ELA teacher. Ms. Rochelle Hendricks, she is another ELA teacher. Ms. Tanner is our science and social studies, and once again, I am your math teacher.
And I want to interrupt you for just a minute. I have a student teacher this semester,
Yeah.
and Eliza Burba's right there running our video for us. So.
Nice to meet everybody.
We are right. We're really fabulous. Just a little FYI about our office hours. Our planning time is 9:30 to 10 and 3:05 to 3:35. So when you'd like a conference or you want to meet with one of us, those are great times to schedule appointments with us. Kind of our schedule, we start our day with morning meeting. The kids come in, we get started at 7:40. Our specials time is 9:20. Recess is 11:30 and lunch is 12. So our recess and lunch are very similar to last year, and so is our specials. We are really encouraging the kids to bring bottles of water because once again it has been super hot outside to school daily. So make sure they're bringing those to school. We encourage them to take them outside at recess time so that they're not dehydrated outside when it's been so hot. So our flow is a little bit different than last year. Last year we had the 4-way rotation. This year we decided it was better to clump ELAR together. So you have a set reading and writing teacher. So if you are in 4A, you start your day in math, and then you go to science, and then you end your day in ELAR, which is reading and writing, which is 2 hours. If you are in 4B, which is Ms. Hendricks, you start your day in science with Ms. Tanner, then you come to me for math, and you end your day in ELAR with Ms. Hendricks, which is 2 hours. 4C starts their day with reading and writing in the morning. Then they go to science with Ms. Tanner and me for math. And 4D starts their day in reading and writing, and then comes to me for math, and then science at the end of the day. So it's a nice little cohesive with ELAR, with the reading and writing together, so that you have a teacher that is monitoring your child with the reading and the writing together. So it's kind of our day. The ELA block is 2 hours long, which is doing a really, I think, a good job. What you guys can get done, because it is a lot of work. iPads.
Gotta pass the mic,
Oh,
sorry.
sorry.
She wants to talk, but she can't talk anymore.
I'll get the mic.
iPads have been given to all of our learners. They have protected cases on them, but parents may be held responsible for damages, so just kind of beware about that. They're a huge part of our daily learning, but please know they do not replace individual interactions and collaboration. They're just a smaller part of our learning, and we use a lot of collaboration, interactions with teachers, and headphones are a must. iPads are used for a variety of things: research, extensions, creation, innovation, fluency, and access to Schoology. Any issues with your iPad? Really, guys, the best way to get this resolved is by contacting tech support, and the link to that is going to be found on the CISD website.
My science slide. The best way that we're going to communicate with you is through email, so always feel free to email us. You can email homeroom teacher. We definitely share emails with each other, but if there's like a specific concern with the subject area, feel free to email that specific subject area teacher. And most of what we're doing through the day, the updates on what we're learning are going to be on our weekly newsletter that we send home on Fridays. We're gonna have a parent-teacher conference day in October, so that'll be a great opportunity for us to chat with you about how your child is doing. If you have any specific concerns in any subject area, feel free to reach out to that subject area teacher, and we're happy to schedule a conference with you.
Are you gonna have some conferences like still on Zoom, or will it be like?
That's a great question, and we will definitely offer both.
Oh,
Yes, for sure, yeah.
So whatever makes you comfortable.
Yes. Of course, we have, behavior expectations for our fourth graders who have done a fabulous job to start the year. A lot of it is carried from third grade for most of the kids that have come from third grade, with us to fourth. Of course, we expect that they're, showing responsibility and that they're being respectful and that they're prepared. And we've really had a great start to the year, and we've had no concerns with any of that at all. This is a great group of kids, a great group of parents, and we have been super happy. But we definitely hold them to a high standard, for sure. Dojo, we use Class Dojo, which we also used last year for behavior, and that offers positive points and negative points every week. At the end of the week, we tally the points, the learners earn tickets for their points, and then they can cash them in for various prizes. If a behavior is not being responded to with Dojo, then the next step would be a big sheet, which we don't have to give too often, but that's just going to be a reflection where the learner's going to kind of reflect on what they did and maybe a better choice, and that will always be shared with parents. We usually send it home with the learner, but we'll also email you or contact you to let you know what's going on with that, for sure.
Thank you for that birthday song. That was a surprise, and now I gotta get them back. If you're interested in the Gifted and Talented program, the GTI, Ms. Warren is our teacher that addresses those needs. That's a QR code that's scannable. If you want to use your phone, if you want to get more information, that would be where you get that information for the Gifted and Talented services. Report cards is probably the biggest change that you're going to see in fourth grade. In third grade or so far, the report cards have not had number grades. Now what you're going to see is possibly what you grew up with. The children are going to have averages of the assignments that they have, and they'll receive report cards. So you will see an actual number grade on the report card, 70 to 80, 80 to 90, 90 to 100. We have an opportunity for the children to be, if they don't meet standard, then we will give them an opportunity to re-evaluate on the test. That their highest grade then would be a 70. We have assignments that will show up in Schoology, assignments that will show up in the Home Access Center. There's a different weight to the work that we do. We have daily assignments, and then we have some summative tasks that the daily assignments are a little bit more heavily weighted. You will get progress reports if your child has to score less than 75 midterm every 9 weeks. We have assignments that you can find in Schoology, but not always everything is in Schoology. It's not the end all. Sometimes the assignments are just on the board for the children to be responsible for the daily assignments. We have a red Lakeside folder. We ask the children to take that home and bring it back, take it home and bring it back. Whether there's anything in it or not, we'd like them to have the habit of taking it home and you to have the habit of checking it and then letting them bring it back. So often that goes home empty and you could overlook it, and forget about that responsibility. Every now and then, if there's an important communication note, I think some Boy Scout forms went home today, you'll see them because they'll be in the red folder. If your child has work that's incomplete, they have an opportunity to complete it. It may be sent home, they may be completing it during what we call win time at the end of the day. That would be an opportunity to complete work that's incomplete. incomplete. Also, if it is late, then they have a chance to get that work done. Late submission, that's not what we encourage. We want them to be able to stay right on topic and stay pace with the rest of the children. But it is definitely, we're going to consider the needs of your child. Maybe a big excitement for you to know is that we will be taking a field trip this year all the way to Austin, Texas. So we don't have all the details yet. We will not be planning it ourselves, but we'll be using a company that is very accustomed to and knows the ins and outs to do this. We'll be arriving very, very early the morning that we depart, painfully early, and then we will get on a chartered bus and we'll ride down to Austin, Texas. It's a fast and furious trip. I've done it before, and the main focus of the trip, we will tour the Capitol, which is really awesome to see. But the main focus is the Bob Bullock Museum. If you have had an opportunity to go through the Bob Bullock Museum, it will address and allow the children to see every single standard that we're supposed to teach our children this year. It is like check done. They've seen it. They have been able to experience now by looking at the demonstrations in the museum. So it's actually a fabulous opportunity for the children. Sometimes these trips go further to San Antonio, to Alma. We will not be doing that. But the way that this happens is we leave early. We are on a chartered bus. We go down to Austin. We'll do the events, the museum, the Capitol, have lunch there, and then we'll come back. I can't speak positively that I know what I'm talking about, but in the past, we arrived back here around 7 or 8 p.m. So, had no idea if that's the way it'll be this time, but that's the way it was in times past. It's been several years since we've done it. The field trip will cost. The fee is $96 a person. Once PTO considers their budget and the write-a-check program is taken care of, we will ask them to supplement what we have to pay, and there will be a fee that you might want to plan for, but it won't be $96 a person. But this won't, I don't know what it will be, but it's a great opportunity for the children, and we'll wear them out good for you on Thursday afternoon. So if you didn't catch that, it's March 23rd, 2023.
Do you take parent volunteers?
We will take parent volunteers. We're limited to the number of parent volunteers, and the volunteers are required to come to a training. The field trip is on a Thursday, and the training is 2 days before that, so that would be March 21st. So you would have to come to the training, but yes.
Do they have to ride separately, or can they go in the bus?
I don't remember how we did that. You know, local field trips, parents can't ride on the public bus, but this is a chartered bus, and I just honestly, this is, I don't remember. That's something I can get back to you on. I don't remember how we dealt with that. I don't remember. Somebody remember?
I went 3 years ago with fourth grade and the
You on the
parents.
charter bus? Yeah, so that would be better than parents having to do all that.
Mm-hmm.
Those are my slides on those. All right,
Transportation, anytime your child has a different way of getting home, send us an email, or if it's past like 2 or 2:30, contact the office so that they call down to our rooms so that we know exactly where they're supposed to head for that to get departure out easily. Dreambox is a math program. I have not set goals yet. The kids are like, hey, I don't have this. It looks like last year. That's because we haven't taken math yet, and I align math with their Dreambox scores if they're on the right path for their year. So if Dreambox is looking similar to last year, it's because we haven't taken math yet. Our start dates are different this year, and that's because they've redesigned it. Reading will be April 19th, and math will be May 2nd. So reading's a little bit earlier, and so is math. Yes.
There is no license this year?
No. actually, ELAR is kind of combined. So in the reading star, they will be required to type some of their answers in a written format. So with the redesign, I guess I'll just go ahead and put this out there. Math is going to look like dragging and manipulating. And yes, we've already asked and reached out and said, like, how can we prepare our kids best for this? Because, I mean, we have Schoology, but even within Schoology, when you drag and drop, you can't build like a graphic design to say, okay, can I put the dot plot or move graphs this way? So we're already trying to figure out how can we connect to that. And then they're already discussing with the reading format as to how can we better prepare our kids, where you're given the multiple choice, but yes, yet you have to type a written response. So the redesign is going to look a little bit different, but yes, that's why we're trying to reach out and see like what kind of best formats we can have to prepare our kids for that. So it is combined, which helps why the ELAR is now combined into two separate teachers. So you have the reading and writing teacher looking at your child holistically.
Thank you.
Good question.
Are they writing, like handwriting? Because old
No,
ones, they're
typing. Yes,
Typing.
everything's digital.
Everything.
Everything's
For everyone.
digital. Everyone's digital
Yeah.
this year. Yeah. Ice Station and Kids A to Z. Ice Station is the beginning of each month, and they can work on Ice Station and Kids A to Z at home as we started. I'm thinking Ice Station's going to start this month.
Next week.
Yes, next week will be the first Ice Station. MAP testing is coming around the corner. So Tuesday, we're going to do our first reading MAP test. What we do is we start the kids in the morning and allow them to test up until special, so they have that nice chunk. We don't switch that day until all the learners are done testing. So they start testing in the morning. If we go to specials and they're not finished, they come back and they test. We don't say, oh no, you've got to finish. Well, we allow them to secure that testing time for that. So reading will be the Tuesday after Labor Day. Math is going to be September 14th, and science will be September 20th, which is right before parent conference. We'll be allowed to go over and see some great growth from your children, which, honestly, we're already seeing a lot of amazing growth with your kids already. Birthdays, hooray!
Okay, I'll pass the mic.
Birthdays. So if your child wants to bring a birthday treat from home, they must bring enough for everyone in their classroom, and the treats must be individually wrapped. Any birthday treats, any food or otherwise, will be sent home with classmates where they can best be enjoyed. Please be sure to communicate with your child's teacher if you are planning on sending any birthday treats. If a child wants to invite friends for their birthday party, those invitations will be ideally communicated or distributed outside of school. And we ask that you communicate with your child's teacher so they can, invitations can only be distributed at school if the entire class is invited. And we ask that you communicate to your child's teacher so they can distribute those envelopes. If you want to volunteer this year, please don't forget that a background check is required. That link is also on the CISD website. And please, 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 for everyone's safety, sign in at the front office and get a visitor's pass, and be sure to wear that so that we can visibly see it.
Oh, it's me. Yay, reading. I love reading. So, fourth grade reading is similar to third grade reading, except that everything is a little bit more in depth, right? So, reading longer text, going a little bit deeper with everything, responding to text, that's going to be a big thing this year. So, being able to identify not only what happened in the story, but, identifying characters and their traits and their motivations, and being able to find evidence for, the things that they can come up with from what they read. That's really big in fourth grade. We start with a fiction unit, which we're in right now, so that's really focused on characters and summarizing and theme. We'll go to nonfiction, we'll hit poetry, we'll go back to historical fiction, so we're kind of all over the place. We definitely hit every genre. But, really just digging in a little bit deeper than third grade. I really am trying to encourage kids to try new books, maybe ones that they haven't tried before, new series. We're reading a great book right now, Read Aloud, they're really into, so I'm hoping to get everybody hooked on that one. But the best thing you can do at home is read with your kids. So have them read 30 minutes a day. talk to them about what they're reading. I put a lot of resources on our newsletter to use at home, just questions you can ask or things you can do to support your child's reading and writing at home. I didn't talk about spelling. Spelling, we're doing spelling. They have a test every Friday, unless, it's a short week. So like next week we have Monday off. So I'm gonna push the test till the following Monday. But every week they should be bringing home a spelling list. There should be a test date on it. They have a spelling menu of activities they can practice at home. If your child loses those, they're in Schoology every week for you as well. Learners have responded really well to that since we started it last year. They're really excited about it. They really want to do well. I see a lot of ownership for the spelling. So we're going to continue that as long as we're seeing positive results. Writing, we're really trying to connect it to reading this year. Most of your children know how to write complete sentences at this time. Yay. Capital letters and periods. That was a big thing in 3rd grade. But, in 4th grade, we really dig a little bit deeper, and it's more about, yes, you can write a complete sentence, but now let's make that sentence better. So, showing, not telling, adding dialogue, adding thoughts, adding feelings, adding more description, adding better vocabulary, all of those things. Thinking about your reader, you're writing a story, but you're writing it for someone else to read. So how are you making sure that your reader is taking everything away from your story that you want them to? Same thing as reading, any kind of writing you can do at home, that's super helpful. Daily journal prompts, write about your day, anything like that is super helpful to do at home. We're gonna have grammar every week. I love grammar, if you haven't figured that out yet. I really do. But we'll have a skill every week that we focus on, and of course, the idea is that, we're putting that in isolation, but then it's applied to your child's writing, independent writing. And you'll also see that in the newsletter every week. Yes.
Back this year, we started with place value, which is always a great intro every year. Our really main units this year are going to focus on double-digit multiplication, long division, decimals, and fractions. And with that, it just becomes fact fluency. Some of the best things you can do at home is build that fact fluency at home. I'm seeing great growth from last year to this year. But as we hit decimals, really when you go to the store, have your kids looking at those numbers, give them the money, say, did you do the correct change back? Doing those things at home really connects a lot of that math fluency to them. Fractions, we take away the pictures. So that's why that becomes a harder concept, because you have to visualize 2/5 and 3/4 and which one's greater. So looking at those fractional concepts is what we're going to be building towards, as opposed to last year when we gave them the picture where they can compare and order. We take away that concrete model and become more abstract. So that fact fluency, as we hit equivalency, is going to be huge. The better they know those facts, the better they're going to be. So we do a lot of number sense and building in our classroom. How can you get to this number? What's the most efficient way you can get here? So the best thing you can do at home is connect real world to math and build that fact fluency, because it's not the process that trips them out. It's those bigger digits, the 8 times 9. Or, okay, well, here I'm seeing 634 divided by 9, because we do get into remainders. And the hard thing is not only do we get into long division, but they have to interpret what to do that remainder. Okay, so now I have, little Joe is left on the side of the road. Do I just leave him there and he can't go to the party, or do I get another car and go on? So we have to interpret that remainder and decide what to do. So not only do they have to build a process, which I also think is it's hard, but we also have to interpret what to do with that. So that builds a lot of their reading and problem solving skills into that. So Reflex, as of a week ago, was not, our subscription hadn't flowed over yet, but it should be coming soon. Like I said, Dreambox, I have not set them a goal yet because we haven't done map yet. But I will once we do map, because that aligns to their path. So any kind of fact fluency is good. I also know that people don't like Reflex, because sometimes Reflex moves too fast, and some people just don't want to move that fast. So calling them out in the car, talking to them, you know, you got 5 minutes before you go through them, what's 9 times 3, what's this? And then do opposite, what's 27 divided by 3? So give them those formats of those numbers in different scenarios, and that's gonna build their math skills, but also that, take them shopping. Here, how much change did you get back? I think that a lot of that builds their mathematical sense when they have that connection to real world and how it applies to them. So that's kind of our idea in math.
And I get to play with your kids. So I have science and social studies, there's no way I can do everything that I'm required to do. So I don't do science and social studies on a daily basis. I do social studies on Mondays and Fridays, and I try to keep science in the middle of the week. And my thinking on that was so that once we start or begin an investigation, we can keep going and carry that out without it being interrupted with another subject. In science, it's the same topics that we covered in 3rd grade. There's a big emphasis in 4th grade on process skills. We're looking to ask questions, use a scientific method, to gather data, analyze data, create graphs, think like a scientist. That's the big emphasis. And so at the same time, they're playing and having a good time. And so it can get a lot of fun, and at the same time, we can stand back and look at our work and go, wow, I've done a lot, and I've created a lot, I've thought deeply, and I've done a really good job thinking like a scientist. In social studies, going back to the idea of the field trip, the entire focus in 4th grade is on Texas. So it's Texas history. Right now we're in the regions of Texas. We need to learn the different physical regions of Texas, and then we're going to learn about the people that used to live in Texas, and then we're going to learn about people who come to Texas, and then we're going to learn about the natural resources, and then we get finally to the battle, which everybody loves, and so the Battle of the Alamos. So it's a big, strong focus on Texas and everything having to do with Texas, and it's a lot of fun. And that's the reason for the field trip, because it fits perfectly with what we're required to learn in 4th grade. And that's the end of our slideshow. If you have further questions, we would absolutely love to meet with you. Again, like the slide said, the best way to reach us is probably email. We all try to get back to you within 24 hours. If you have a specific need of a specific subject area, you can reach out to that teacher. If you need to reach homeroom teachers about attendance possibly, or transportation issues, of course you can do that. We really appreciate you coming out, sticking with us, and being so incredibly supportive. We know so many of you. We already know that we have got a great group of kids and a great group of parents. And so the idea, the invitation to move up with these kids, it was a no-brainer for us. We absolutely wanted to do that. Sign us up. Yes, of course we want to do that, because why wouldn't we? You've been wonderfully supportive, and your children are so well behaved. And I guess maybe the most impressive thing about your children is they really want to learn. They come to school and they want to learn. They want to read, they want to learn, they want to dig deep, they listen, and they get excited when they have new knowledge. And so we could ask for anything better. We're in a really wonderful place, and life is good. So thank you for making that impression on them at home, and thank you for being here and supporting us. We appreciate it.